Cheap.
And then I'm gonna tell him exactly.
Sorry, hey, 1, 2, 3. I guess you can't hear me. One sec.
I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Okay, there. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right. Sorry, that was a little bit of an awkward start. Welcome to the independent media.
T and I were
amateur
having
media.
a little squabble, a little kerfuffle.
Oh shit, eh? That was a bit of an awkward timing for kerfuffle, or like about the. I guess I should. That's where I usually, before I end the music or like bring it down and go live, I tend to, in the private chat, I double check. Are you good to go?
Double check, but you didn't.
Yeah. This is the one time I was just like, I think she's there. Let's go. And that's funny how that happens. I guess I learned my lesson.
Hello, everybody. Let me see who's on. Who's on and popping? That would be. Dang, this thing is moving slow. Hi, Kieran, Sean, Sakuado. Am I saying that right? Sakuado.
I'm not sure. Sakuodo.
Kitty.
Good to see you guys.
Sakuodo. Myra, driving Miss Macy. Miss Macy. So yeah. I guess you should make the announcement now, and we'll make it again later.
You're right. I was just talking a bit about with Abby, but last week and a bit just before the show got started here. Since I got the job working as a dishwasher on the weekends, I've been considering doing like just dropping my Tuesday presence here on New Noteworthy and just focusing on Thursday so that I can have the kids over for another extra visit during the week. I'm only seeing them twice a week right now. And so if I'm bringing in more money, I can maybe see them 3 days a week. And we're still ongoing with the custody battle. So I think it's in my best interest, my family's best interest to be a responsible kind of show that I can, that I'm arguing for 50-50 custody, and my ex wants more like sole decision-making power and whatnot, and much more limited visitations. So I'm saying, look, if I can manage to like 3 out of 4 days a week consistently show my responsibility, then I feel like that would materially show my commitment and reasonability, my rationality and all that. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. So it would probably
I'm in 100% support of that. So I'll make an effort to try to get a co-host on Tuesdays. Or maybe I'll be like Bill O'Reilly. Fuck it, we're gonna do it live. We'll see.
Yeah, this is like just whatever you say, like tentatively, right? That's the word, because I'm looking like things change, and often my ex doesn't have the money to like pay her fair share of like the rides over and stuff. So it should be like, can we skip the day this day because I can't afford it? So unless I want to just be like I usually do, avoiding the whole process of ensuring things go fairly, whatever, like I gotta try and help her be sticking to her end of the bargain a little bit and not, like you can't be too liberal in the sense of like it's all good if I just, you know what I'm trying to say, like if they're trying to make you accountable for all these things And then you're trying to be like, I'm such a nice guy that I'm not going to have any standards I'm going to hold anyone else to. You just kind of justifying being a doormat in a sense. You know, simp, S-I-M-P. Lovely word, hard to say on the, gotta pop those P's on the radio.
Well, I'm sure everyone in the chat wishes you the best in your endeavors, as do I. And I hope it works out for you. So, chat, Tuesdays. Who want to smoke?
I also think it would just it'd be nice to have like other people trying to, like, we were back in the day trying to do some networking beyond just the two of us. It didn't exactly pan out, but you know, no reason to give up on that. I feel like the more the merrier as far as co-hosts. If people wanted to kind of join the noteworthy team, I'm open to that. I don't know about what you, as far as what your thoughts on the matter are there with that, Abby. I feel like you.
We had talked to Unc about a network, but we hadn't really talked about it. A lot has been going on.
Exactly. So it's
in
all
our lives. So
I'm not trying to rush or whatever. We want an organic kind of production. Like, we don't want to be having like what happens with a lot of these channels is people are trying to, they feel irrelevant being such a small channel or growing so slowly and whatnot, and we're not really revolutionary if we're being too careful and slow and methodical. I feel like there's too many that burn quick, hot, and fast, and then they're out. Done.
The chat is undefeated, Michael. Read this. The chat is undefeated.
You got me.
Get your ass up out of here. You're fired.
Thank you. Well, I feel like Tuesdays, the dynamic we're looking for would be better, almost better served by a less dour, negative, anti-positivist host. You know, a little bit more chill.
This is supposed to be a little more chill and fun anyway. So you probably need to get the fuck out of here. I'm just playing with you, Michael. I'm just playing.
But kernel of truth, you know what I mean? Like, there's different roles for, we all have something different to bring to the team and whatnot, and so there's our, you know, it's funny because my whole radio broadcasting career that I went to college for and dropped out, I had always had like the mentality that I'm going to be like on the back of the house, kind of. I don't really want to be the guy on the air, and I just, because whatever circumstances compel me, you try and learn some of this socialism, and they're all like, you got to get out there and do stuff, whether or not it's ideal circumstances, whatever. If no one else is doing it, you got to put yourself forward.
Well, you know, the first time, like I got into this, I was a producer, which was a natural progression from me being a project manager. I would organize everything from in the background, right? And I had a host, and I would do all the stuff. And then I would be in the control room, either as producer or I would have a director, and then sometimes I didn't have a director and I had to direct myself. And shout out to my boy Isaiah, who taught me how to be a director. He's been on the show before. We were on here talking about relationships.
Way back when the co-host who you would have been working with had certain things gone differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Way back when. In fact, he came to New Orleans, and I was like, "You're in New Orleans?" I was like, "Let's get in the car and go." So hold on, I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was. There we go. So I got a chance to see him in person again, and that was fun and adorable. But yeah, he taught me everything I know about directing. But I don't do that anymore because I'm not in a control room. But I won a lot of awards, you know. It was cool. So let me see. I need to put the link up. Hi, Michael Pan. I see Michael Pan is here.
What's
I'm
up,
about to
Old Man
put the
Barker
link
and Sean,
up. Old Man Barker's here.
Macy and XD, and we already said hi to Myra and Kieran and Sakamoto. Thank you all for joining us.
And Sean, I was told by somebody I was on their stream and they stream from Zoom. I didn't even know you could do that. I was like, what? They said it's cheaper than streaming. I was like, what? But I haven't checked it out yet. I got so much going on. So let me see if I can give y'all the link. Hopefully this time around I can pin it. Maybe not. You know how that goes around here. And then we can get started.
Good.
With our regularly scheduled program.
Well, I see Old Man Barker's starting off with a little bit of a topic. He's saying separatists trying to say they're martyrs like Louis Riel, talking about the Alberta separatists. Bunch of goofy ass motherfuckers. We don't really hear much about them over here in Ontario, or at least I don't. Not the best. I'll try and like repeat this as necessary. I'm not the best person as far as hearing things in a timely fashion because I'm not so in the loop with I'm not so sociable as everybody else, but I do my best to try and keep my ears out for development. You know, these separatists I didn't really think were for last year I was hearing they don't have enough support to be meaningful, like 10%, 20% at best or whatever, not even. And so they were irrelevant. And then all of a sudden they're I still feel that they're irrelevant, but they're being noisy again all of a sudden for some reason. You would think that this trade war business with between Canada and the U.S. It's kind of like a fake trade war, you know. They're it's weird. It's fake and it's not, you know, because there are real tariffs and real material effects on the ground as far as higher cost of living and businesses being pressured and whatnot. But as far as the grand foreign policy, Canada still remains kind of like a vassal to the U.S. So the separatists at this particular moment are very obviously ignorant about what they're calling for. In that, what are you thinking? That the U.S. is going to be more charitable to you when you've made yourself independent from Canada, or you think they're just going to fucking eat you up like a tiny fish, you know, like a gigantic shark? It's kind of like the Donbass or whatever, Crimean kind of separation from Ukraine. Oh, is that really independent? Is that what they're really trying to do? Or what? It seems a lot more logical to explain it realistically that they are independence is a necessary first step towards the then joining with the Russian state. And so it's just not, independence is just not feasible. It's just not possible, right? That's exactly impossible. But an idealist loves some kind of illusion to believe in, a mirage to march towards. Yeah, they're.
So I just started a poll. I want to know what do they want the discussion to be, political or social? Or should we add more to it?
Yeah, that's a good starting point. Or political, whatever, social, psychological, cultural.
Oh, damn. Wait, hold on. Can I add to the poll?
I don't even know how you're doing that.
It's under the widgets.
Oh, yeah. They added a bunch of stuff. I just don't even. explore my inner Luddite. Just like
Or just
myself.
ask a question. Ask a question. And we'll stop.
No worries.
Egg says social, to be honest.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, what kind of social, Eggs? Oh, Sean says social. I know, because we do a lot of political, like,
it's a bit tough. It's going in circles. There's a lot of fog of war.
Chill. They just want to chill.
Yeah, sounds good. I got I don't know, like kids going back to school soon. I don't know if that's anything that's only kind of something that appeals to people with kids. You know, there's people who don't have kids. How are the single people doing these days? You know, how's the dating situation? End of summer. It's kind of always
Was it a hot girl summer or a hot boy summer? For me, it was just a hot ass summer. Like it was just a hot ass summer.
I think that Windsor wasn't like supremely unbearable this year, and saw my fair share of hot girls. Not always. It's a hot girl summer every year for me. I'm not exactly looking out for the hot guys.
It was a real hot this summer. It was like extremely hot. I just couldn't bear it. I stayed in the house the entire time. I am gonna get a little bit political. How Mondami was like, hey, and everybody just put their air conditioners on 78. And they're like, this is what communism looks like. And then when you go to the energy companies and look at their recommendations for extreme heat summer, they say, put your air conditioners on 78. I'm like, oh my God, they just try to turn anything into something political. It's just, we're just trying to be communal around here.
Well, some people do argue that everything is political. You could say there is a political dimension to mostly everything that you could always try and reduce things down to. I think there is some necessity to keep in mind that there's just like not everything is about science or religion or whatever. There's reason for different I guess categories. I mean, to not just lump everything all into one, put all your eggs in one basket.
So
it's one dimension to try and talk about everything as if it's politics. You know?
So speaking of social, I just want to show you this. So she made it political. Trump McDonald's sports causing global warming. So let me see if I can pull this up. Here we go. Let me see if I can share this. Because it came out of Louisiana. Okay. Believe it or not. Make it big.
Well, we could maybe say Trump's farts are a national security threat because they got to keep him out of the White House because you know, maybe too much of it builds up in there. It's a you know, explosion hazard.
Has anybody seen this?
Viral video shows Popeye's employee farting on chicken. Is this the end of your The revenge of the lumpen proletariat is bitter.
Is this the video? No. Let me see. Are they showing the video? Oh, here it is. Okay. Maybe this is the video. Yep, this is the video. Here we go. Oh, what?
A black Popeyes employee.
Why do they have to start with that? That was hilarious. Okay, let me start over.
A Black Popeyes employee in Louisiana was fired and could face a lawsuit after he farted on raw chicken and served it to customers. The incident started when the employee posted a disturbing video online. In the video, he walked into the restaurant's raw chicken storage area, opened a package of uncooked chicken, sat on it, and farted on the food. After that, he appeared to take the same chicken, cook it in the fryer, and serve it to customers. A few days later, some customers discovered the video online. When they watched it carefully, they realized the employee in the video was the same person who had prepared their meals at the restaurant that day. The customers said they immediately felt disgusted and sick after realizing they might have eaten the chicken shown in the video. They brought the evidence to the restaurant and contacted Popeye's corporate, demanding compensation and an investigation.
Not smart.
Wait, okay.
You had your face in there, okay? It's on fucking, I don't know if it's national television. It's on fucking television, all right? This digital age, you just fucked your fucking future of employment a little bit, maybe.
Exactly.
Fucking legend, though, bro. Like, I don't know. You can only get so far trying to be.
He said, laugh out loud. He said, yes. No.
But is this attacking like the rich? This is just like collateral damage with a friendly fire, man. Those are some fellow working class people. I'm thinking, those people look as customers, right? I don't know.
Yeah, that was
he deserved that. That's like holy shit, man.
Louisiana. Yeah. They trying to wash us away. They trying to forward us away. I
don't really advocate to people be eating all that fast food. You know, it's not really good for them. Parts aside, you know.
Right. You shouldn't be eating that anyway, but
people have a right to choose what they put in their body. That's that free fucking whatever. My body, my choice.
But farts a choice.
That part was non-consensual.
Non-consensual farts.
I mean, people do pay for that shit, whatever. It's just, that guy's got a future in porn, probably.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Sean. Not salmonella. Salmonella.
Now we need to ask the scientific question. Is it actually a myth that this will make you sick? No.
But here's a good question, though. Like, the people, they said they felt sick. Did you really feel sick because you found out he farted on your chicken? Like, is it psychological? Are you trying to get money? Or like, because if you didn't know he farted on your chicken, you wouldn't be sick at all, right?
Probably not.
I'm just wondering. Like, it's a good question. I don't know.
Either way, that's a violation. I think that's a universal thing. We can all, left and right, we can unite on this issue. That you would be outraged too if somebody fucking farted
on your food. I was in here making I showed you what I was making, and my friend came over, and I had like all the stuff to make it. Well, I already cut up the cabbage, but I had all the bell peppers in a water bowl with baking soda, and I was like, I just said to him, see, I clean my vegetables even when nobody's looking. Because, sometimes people will just do it just for show. No, I do that shit when nobody's looking because I got to eat this shit too. Like, what the fuck?
I wish that there would be some way where we could trust like the grocery stores to have all of the pesticides and whatnot washed off of that stuff before you get it. But
you have no idea what they're doing.
Beggars can't be choosers.
I guess not. No, you didn't, old man Barker. No, you didn't. He didn't do that. He's just talking shit.
this is a reminder, I guess, timely reminder for anyone eating food from a restaurant to respect your staff, because there's a petty power that we have.
I don't understand why people go to restaurants and talk shit to their servers and their like food prep. Why would you do it? Go home.
It's
why would you do that?
Very clearly through its class discrimination. They need somebody to look down on, to treat like they're servants, because to feel superior. Class is bullshit, but it's interesting how pervasive it can be. Yeah.
Thank you, Sean. Rule number 1: never ever fuck with people that make your food. That's like common sense. Common sense ain't common anymore, unfortunately. But that's common sense to me. But again, I'm 49, so.
Little caveat though, as far as personal experience with comrades in the restaurant industry, we gotta be a whole lot more revolutionary. Okay, why is it that we are so afraid? You know, like we get treated so badly. We like to explain it away as opposed to allowing ourselves to be justifiably outraged and to do something about it. So, you know, yes, we deserve more respect. We deserve more self-respect. Starts there too, right?
Interesting. What do you mean we deserve more self-respect?
I mean, the people in the restaurant industry don't really see themselves as like worthy of being treated like equal peers as the rest of society. We kind of see ourselves. Maybe this is my bias. I'm just saying they don't seem very like when you compare to the like to make it political. You know, the proletariat in the orthodox Marxist sense is like the factory workers. You know, they're the really revolutionary potential people. The ones who are in like a trade union kind of environment. And the restaurant industry is kind of backwards and reactionary in that sense that we're a lot more industry that's historically never really had much success with like proper unionization like other sectors. So we're
because you still work on tips and like
and we're kind of like not having solidarity with each other. It's a little bit more like every man for themselves, and this old-fashioned mentality about you know, we should be willing to work ourselves in a very toxic kind of overwork ourselves or whatever, in old-fashioned kind of 1950 style lack of labor rights and whatnot.
I kind of feel like the only people that see it that way are people that don't really care what they consume in their bodies. Like I really appreciate. I watch chefs and
yeah. If you want the workers to care more about not giving you like badly sourced food, like fucking like chlorinated chicken, this guy, like there's the workers are powerless to prevent any of this like capitalist nonsense that produces like poor quality products and services, because we don't really get solidarity from the rest of the labor movement in general. I feel like the rest of the socialists, like they tend to focus on the like just like the pragmatic, whatever the politicians, like the electoral politics, whatever. Everyone's focusing on like the achievable victories. So there's these like groups of workers that get left behind and treated like we're not even proletarian. When the more I feel like revolutionary approach is to recognize how like the revolutionary subject of history, whatever, like the definition of proletariat, like changes over time necessarily. So we're in a very different world today than we like with the modern proletariat than the one that Marx was writing about back then.
You know, tipping culture is stemmed from racism. You know that, right?
You're right. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because this is very interesting. I saw this on I don't know where I saw this from. Oh, the stereotype of black people don't tip. I always tip very generously, and I try to do it in cash. And then I went and worked for, I went and bartended, and I was at the, like I was putting in my tips or whatever. So everything I got in cash, I didn't say shit about that. I was just putting up, and the register wouldn't let me go forward. They were like, no, you got more than that type of deal. Like they was trying to count my money without counting my money. And I find that interesting because, let me circle back. So, because the stereotype is black people don't tip, but I find that a lot of waiters, or I should say servers, online say that the worst tippers are the Sunday crew that's getting out of church and going to the restaurant
Because they
in
just
like
gave
in groups of 10 to 20.
Because they just
And
gave
they
money to the gift pot to the church.
and then they just give you like a couple of dollars and they'll give you like a prayer card or something. So why do black people get that stereotype when the worst tippers are actually the Christians coming out of church on Sunday?
Funny, I never heard that.
How did that happen? Who said
who set up the tipping system in the first place? There's a bit of a different history in Europe, but those business owners who set up the classical tipping system in the U.S., I feel like they are of Christian origin, either Catholic or Protestant. Like, we gotta maybe cover the WASPs one day. There's like a whole. Apparently, some people don't recognize the people wouldn't talk about like the Jewish supremacy, whatever Zionist cabal behind America, but like I think that's ignorant about the more like Episcopalian, whatever, Protestant, all these different denominations of like the evangelicals, like Christian Zionists outnumber the Jewish Zionists and whatnot. So there's a kind of missing, like there's like a limited hangout as far as historical understanding of where power lies in America. That's where I do have to get my next Substack article out. I was going to try and revisit that topic.
Another Substack article.
Yeah, I want to talk about like restorationism and Zionism and like that's restorationism and I forget these older Christian movements from like hundreds of centuries ago. That was like this idea that Israel should be restored and whatnot. There's like this very long history of that in like this Christian worldview that I think modern propaganda has some kind of incentive to bury that aspect of the story, because I feel like it's important to maintain this distinction between left-wing and right-wing Zionism, and the right-wing Zionists or left-wing, right-wing anti-Zionism, sorry, because the right-wing anti-Zionists are the fascists, the Nazis, the ones who have that classical anti-Semitic bent. And so they want to kind of, I think they've been trying to influence us leftists to just start to be to be in our, like outwardly we'll present ourselves as leftists, but they want to cognitively capture us so that we end up just sort of spewing their right-wing narratives uncritically. So I think it's important to be keeping the Nazis in their place. They may have made a tactical alliance with the Zionists, but I feel like from that Nazi perspective, they likely want to, like the way that Ukraine is being used as like a forward kind of assault base against Russia or whatever. They're happy to let the Zionists have all kinds of power. They will go fucking out and draw all the attention and all the consequence that comes from all the fucking consequences of their actions, right? This is me trying to understand. It's dangerous to try and think too much about like what the perspective of a Nazi is. That's not how Like, is that how to be the best communist, right? I mean, you have to know thy enemy. It's a good idea, but it's like that. It's like a Nietzschean thing, or whatever. You stare into the abyss too long, it turns into you, whatever. Grain of salt being Nietzsche's no fucking hero of ours, right? You got to keep him in his place on the right, whatever, as a reactionary philosopher. So, but I see
I want to ask you.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
I'm done.
I wanted to, because we're not supposed to be that political. But I'm gonna give you something political, but make it social, okay? So I want to know the psychology of the views and likes of people jumping on the gossip of, I just don't really understand it. Like Andrew, I forget his name, Andrew something. He works for TPUSA now. He was on the Whatever podcast. Him talking to Candace Owens, Tim Pool talking to Destiny. Like, what is, and all of these podcasters that are platform, like showing it and commenting on it. And I'm like, first of all, these people are platforming, like, who wants to platform? Why would somebody like Destiny want to platform Tim Pool? Or who else did he platform? Which was weird. Somebody platform, like some weird, crazy people. Why would Candace Owens want? Well, Candace Owens, I would understand why she would want a platform. Andrew, I forget his last name, but everybody's like, I'm saying like way too many times. I don't like that. I feel like a Valley girl. Hold on, let me.
Where's
my
that
shit
vocal
together?
fry?
Yeah, let me get my shit together. Wait, why would someone want to do that?
Like, come on.
But I'm just saying that so many podcasters are jumping on these videos, speaking on them, like showing them, pausing, talking about it, showing them. It's just over and over and over again. And I'm wondering is this like a gossip, a gossip segment, or do people like gossip that much that appeals to them? So they're appealing to their audience about gossip. I'm just trying to figure it out. What do you think?
Well, first of all, just what's up, Loyal? Good to see you. Salute.
Hi, Loyal.
I would say you're talking about like Destiny and Tim Pool being together on some kind of show. That sounds like weird in that they're trying to create this fake duopoly. They're trying to make it seem like they're really some kind of opposition between Democrats and liberals, but Destiny's kind of like on the liberals, on the Democrat side, and then Tim Pool's supposed to be more the like Republican thing. So what are they trying to do here exactly, as far as
like what's the point?
Coming to like show that bipartisan, like pro-imperialist kind of united front that we're always trying to expose as the real leftists, like how they're always in bed together.
I feel like it's the weirdness of the people you're platforming, like Nick Fuentes, Tim Pool. It just seems strange. Like, out of all the people, why the most? That's like us having Alex Jones on the show or something. Like,
it would be ridiculous
we know
for us.
Who this? Like, we know who they are. What? Isn't that ridiculous?
Well, it's like the foolishness about thinking that you can like do something so obvious in front of your audience and that you're not gonna get noticed or called out for it.
Karen said something funny. Look, Hulk Hogan versus Jesse Ventura.
Nice. Yeah, that's maybe a good way to frame it. It's like they're always looking to WWF like cast
The
politics,
media, yeah.
wrestling, the wrestleization of politics. I don't know how
you
call
just
it.
made that word the
I'm looking for
wrestleization.
wrestleization.
The wrestleization. They're gonna put that in Merriam-Webster's dictionary next to bootylicious.
Sounds good. You know, I like coining
You know,
terms.
bootylicious is in the dictionary now.
That is a great word. That deserves to be a word.
It deserves. Well, so does wrestleization.
Wrestleization?
I think it really does.
What the hell is that?
You said it.
Oh, no, wrestleization. That's very funny. It's like you said wrestleization. That sounds it's like distillation or. But yeah.
It might be my southern accent because Black Life and I we had this discussion. She bought annihilators, and she was like, she bought like strawberry, cherry, banana, and I looked at the banana and I said, "Is that banana?" I said, "I think we have to break up." What? Because you bought banana annihilators. She said, "What did you say?" I said, "You bought banana annihilators." Well, where I'm from, we call them now and laters. I said, yeah, that's what's on the package. But where I'm from, we call them annihilators. And I said, oh, it kind of sounds like the Terminator. Like
Annihilator? Like I don't know if I've
annihilators.
I don't know if I've seen those candies.
It's very. You don't know what an annihilator is? A now and later?
I don't know. We got to call up with pictures. You guys know what she's talking about? There are some candies that you guys like.
That we have that you don't have.
Here.
It's like I like them when they're soft. I don't like them when they're hard. I like the soft annihilators.
They look
I'm never not gonna call them annihilators. But they're called now and later. So you can eat one now and you can eat one later because they're prepackaged. I guess that was a marketing thing. I don't know why my head keeps sticking up like this.
I'll just share the.
No, the hard ones break teeth. I like the soft ones.
These ones?
Yep. Now and later.
They look like Starburst. You know what Starburst? Everyone knows those, right?
But it's way different from Starburst. It's packaged. It's packaged like a Starburst, but the taste
like super hard.
No, you can get them soft too. Some people like them hard. Some people like them chewy.
I feel like old-fashioned candies are more hard candies, and all the modern candies are all chewy because all our teeth are all soft and shit. Modern.
Sean is my type of dude. He said yes, basically the same as Starburst. They just have better flavor.
That's what I'm saying. You guys, they're Americans. Have some terrible, like too much addictive processed food, or whatever. But that means you guys got like the gold mine of the best candy in the world. Fucking synthetic food.
Corn syrup based candies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have well, you know, that came from, I forgot the name of the book. Processed food started when after civil rights, when nannies could leave white people's homes and go back to their families and get a job. And the white women were like, I don't know how to cook. So that's the catapulsion of processed foods. So they started making everything in boxes and stuff like, oh, they like capitalism always finds a way to make money. Oh, you can't do this? Well, let me help you out. The weirdest shit is, okay, you like mashed potatoes?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you eat mashed potatoes out of a box with potato flakes and just add water?
It's not mashed
Or
potatoes.
would you?
That's a
Thank
lie.
you.
That's where.
Thank you. Or would you peel them yourself and boil them, mash them up with butter, milk? You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
a little
how
bit
hard
more.
is it to do that?
Yeah, but this is where a lot of people are trying to. That instant gratification is a big part of that capitalist culture, and so people don't realize how much we've lost as far as our abilities. Like working class people, as like our skills have just fucking gone out the window because we're trying to have everything made by somebody else and not have to even learn how to do it. And this is something, not to be conservative value kind of person, but I'm saying like we should like from like a socialist labor perspective, we should value knowing how to do things because work or labor is power. Like produce use value, whatever we produce the value, and then they just steal our value through exchange or whatever. By making it all about exchange value, right? But anyway, not to get too technical about with all my big fancy Marxist words or whatever.
Is wormwood? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the comments over here. Is wormwood? Is that mushroom in China that really? I love that mushroom. I think it starts with a W. Is that wormwood? Used to make absinthe. I love absinthe, by the way.
Black licorice is the worst. I don't understand how people like that stuff.
Oh, I love black licorice. It's the only licorice I would eat. Like I didn't like any. In the jelly beans, I'd only eat the black ones.
It's so weird how our taste buds are so different. Like just like
I
human
know.
How is that?
And absinthe, I love absinthe. Like where you with the spoon and you put the cube of sugar on it and like burn the sugar and pour the absinthe. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh my gosh. I haven't had that since I was in New York City.
I've never had
That's the last time I've had it. Oh my gosh, it's delicious. Yeah. Oh man, Barker said, hell yeah. It is delicious. It tastes like licorice, but it's a liquor drink. And in America, it's just a liquor drink. But I can't remember what country, if somebody wants to chime in and tell me. It's actually a hallucinogen. And if I'm saying something wrong, correct me, please. But this is my understanding of what absinthe is. And I'm going to put this back in the chat again.
Has a licorice taste to it, or just this?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
It tastes like sambuca, like black licorice.
Oh, sambuca, yeah.
That is not my kind of drink. I maybe don't need to know what absinthe tastes like if it tastes like black licorice.
Oh, well, never mind.
The hallucinogen stuff is intriguing.
I like hallucinant stuff. I like the hallucinogen stuff. It's just my personal preference. I love to go lick a frog one day.
That's one of the things that people is that's like a cultural thing in America that we're kind of like the pro-drug thing compared to the East is more like drugs are bad for you, and we're all like, yeah, but drugs are fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. it's a little hard to, you can't please everybody, and I want to be like do the responsible thing for the kids, and so I want to be like, yeah, drugs. I don't want to be too pro drug because there's a lot of harm.
No, you don't have to be. You don't have to be. I'll be. And actually, even though I mean, I'm not pro drugs. I'm pro natural drugs. Okay, I'm pro mushrooms. I'm pro licking a frog. I'm pro marijuana. Although I don't smoke marijuana, I can't do it. But I am pro natural drugs. But I'm not pro drugs at all.
It's the same way for me. It's always been, if it comes from the earth, it's a my body, my choice thing applies here for sure. But then to try and say, to use that as justification for why people should use pharmaceutical or synthetic, like man-made drugs, that's kind of, I feel like we approach the limits of the my body, my choice when we've made some substances that are so powerful, like so potent and unnatural, the way that they destroy our, like they our free will is already limited enough, not being omnipotent gods or whatever, but then to take certain drugs, our free will becomes like non-existent, you know. So that's not someone's choice.
I can't even take a Tylenol PM. Like they're supposed to make you go to sleep, right? Okay, I'm up all night, and my limbs are constantly like throwing themselves. Like I have no control over them. My arms and my legs are going everywhere. So that's because of the additives that they put in there. So I was told to only purchase PMs from like a CVS or a Walgreens because you know their brand, because their brand, they can't sell the brand with the additives or else, you know, they get sued or whatever. So they sell them without the additives, and I'm fine with those, but I cannot take any of that stuff. I don't like doing that stuff.
I would like to see more.
It don't feel good.
Maybe we have to try and cover some more of it. There might be more research on it by now, but we need to see a little bit more of this microbiota research. I think one of the things that really got missed with the whole COVID situation was this germ terrain. Like germ theory alone is a good way to like psyop people. And the terrain of the body is not unimportant and whatnot. And so when we look at the microbiota and how different people are affected by disease and whatnot, and the way that diet plays a big role in people's natural immunities and whatnot, there's a whole, like, as far as people looking to be positive instead of negative, there's a whole opportunity here to understand how the body works a lot better, which would benefit everybody. And but it's this like turns into this, you can't talk about that, that's some anti-science stuff. We've already debunked that stuff a long time ago. But things get debunked and rebunked and whatnot, and science is in a very interesting moment. But we're a little bit, it's this like that fear of eugenics or whatever coming back. There's like this, and these people in power trying to force some changes to happen, like irreversible, too quick, too fast, and whatnot. And so there's this very important need for us to really figure out what is the real science about how like the gut bacteria and everything work, because like our health is at stake, you know.
So I mean, you could take probiotics, I guess.
But I mean, like finding out how, you know, that's a good idea in principle, but like, what about studies that further build on this idea that taking the probiotics does good? What about when it doesn't? You know,
I feel like my body hasn't truly recuperated from when I had that explosive diarrhea thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still dealing, like it comes and goes, and I'm assuming I must still have a parasite in my stomach. So
like a
I've
long
been
COVID kind of thing.
researching, like, how do you get rid of a parasite in your stomach?
Yeah, some people would say you got some kind of long COVID, you know, and if you hadn't gotten some kind of test to make sure that it's not COVID, come back, or maybe that's it. Like we got to talk about COVID, I think maybe just because like more often again, like got to bring it back periodically
But that's
because
not
there's
COVID.
still people. I'm saying there's still people out there who have this mindset that COVID's still raging. We should all still be masking. The pandemic never went away, and we just like society just bifurcated on that, and we're just apparently we're not going to be rectifying the confusion. So,
Oh, Sean says ivermectin kills parasites.
there's some of the insights that came from the anti-vax, anti-mask crowd, like this ivermectin stuff, if they weren't anti-science about what they were talking about, some of those insights would be relevant to other kinds of, like applicable to other illnesses, you might say, but it's like third rail conversation because that doesn't come from the established science.
Do you remember when they were trying to say people were taking ivermectin? That's a horse drug. They're taking horse medication. And it's like, wait a minute. There's antibiotics. It depends on the potency. Like I can go like I can go to, well, I'll give you, Black Life has medication. My mom has the same medication. The milligrams are different based on their based on their blood work and stuff like that. So why would you say something that you give to a cow or a horse, you can't give it to a person? Of course you're not going to give the same dosage. That would just be dumb.
Well, not to mention it's completely disregarding how it's like unofficial standard practice for them to use medications off label in all kinds of different circumstances.
Yeah, they call it a horse dewormer. It's a dewormer, period, not just a horse dewormer. That's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that we
please,
do.
Look at this. Please don't hit us with the Elon Musk.
There may be some counterintuitive properties of something like that could be useful, like LSD and mushrooms for like treatment of alcoholism and whatnot. It's been taboo for such a long time, and I think it gets also into the 60s movement. The left in the 60s and whatnot was kind of sabotaged by these, like MK Ultra kind of. So as much as it was radical to have like a more free, more accepting, like a more open approach to certain classes of drugs and whatnot, there was this kind of poisoning of the well that happened because of these bad actors.
Sean says over 65 million people have parasites in the U.S. So I've been trying to look up how to, because I'm pretty sure I must have a parasite or something.
That's crazy. You're saying gasoline and sugar is a cure for parasites? I guess that's like poisonous substances in small enough doses can have like an antibacterial, anti-parasitical kind of
Oh, thing. No, wait, no, you got to explain that. You can't just say that. we got to know. We have to know more.
But that's like all these pharmaceutical drugs are made from petrochemicals. That's something that's mind-blowing to understand. So you're telling me that, like, is this maybe like something that people are getting a little bit misinformation on? Like when people say that, they're thinking there's petrochemicals actually used in the ingredient process of the drugs, or you just have to use fuel to run the machine to make the pharmaceutical. Because it's like, if there's actual petrochemicals going into these synthetic drugs that you're consuming, that makes no sense.
I mean, they're binders, right? Maybe they're talking about a binder.
There's all kinds
Like
of synthetic ingredients they put in that. These really chemical sounding names. It's like, how the hell is that good for the body? And they just don't really feel like they have to explain
it. It's a lot of smokers in the chat. I wish I could smoke. If I could smoke, I would smoke. I just can't.
That's just a claim I saw. A loyal, that's a, yeah, I don't know. If someone has a, that's what I don't have, I'm not a chemist. I wouldn't be able to explain. If someone does know how, then yeah.
Rondo, it was some show I was on. I think it was Pasta or something. I can't even remember what they said, and I was just thinking, oh, I need Rondo right now. But I can't even remember. Dang. I'm talking about a different smoke pump.
Well, as far as like the anti-smoking kind of technologies, they this like nanoparticle RNA kind of technology that they're rolling out is going to have some, from what I was reading up, trying to understand, it's going to have some far-ranging applications that I don't know if we're ready for as far as public trust.
And Rondo, give us a peace, fam, please. Or else I don't feel balanced. I don't feel right with the world. Can you give us a peace, fam? Dang, I wish I could remember what was said. I wanted to hear. Dang. They can't use, what's it say? Read it, please.
They can't use gasoline. It's a coal oil, which is mineral oil.
Is it a binder for the different? Oh, kerosene is a mineral oil. Okay. See, I don't know anything about this, so. I can hear Michael going off. You can bring it up.
So basically it's saying that they're used in like drug synthesis. Chemicals such as benzene, toluene, and xylene serve as essential ingredients in synthesizing active pharmaceutical ingredients. These compounds enable the production of medications like antibiotics and aspirin on a large scale. Without petrochemicals, drug production would be less efficient and far more expensive.
Wait, say the last part.
Without petrochemicals, drug production would be less efficient and far more expensive. What do you mean by less efficient? You know, efficient in what?
Efficient in the pocketbook.
Because it's less expensive, or you know, that's very much cost effective. Efficient in synthesizing the drug, whatever, that's maybe not even good for the body. So yeah, industrially.
Yeah, Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm done. I always do that. I gotta learn how to correct that.
No, I think it's a lag or something.
No, it's a lag in my thought process. Whatever. I speak, I stop, and then I have an afterthought, and I try and cram it in without letting you have a moment to say something in between, whatever.
I probably jumped in, I think. So basically, it is a way for them to bring down cost of the drug so they can make more money. I feel like that's what I heard.
I think basically it's a essential product for like a manufacturing chemical used in the process of creating the product that makes the mass production possible.
You remember like the like old school people who would be like, "What's your ailment?" And they would go in the garden and conjure up some shit.
Something that takes months and months to grow for nature to produce it effectively,
and
synthesizing it artificially.
And then the doctors came in and was like, "Oh no, that don't work. You need this. You need this pill."
Loyal has an interesting take here. Pharmaceuticals are mineral supplements, and people are suffering from mineral overdoses, not the drugs, because the minerals stretch the herb. That would be something worth investigating.
Because the minerals stretch the herb. The herb that is so they took the natural herbs and synthesized them and compressed them into a pill. Is that what I'm hearing, or am I not understanding? I feel like that's what I'm hearing.
Sounds about right. There is something to be said about like our understanding of vitamins and whatnot, though. That's just this concept that we learned about the periodic table, and then we started to understand that our foods and ingredients and whatnot are made of certain kinds of periodic table elements. And then so we decided these minerals are the essential ones for the body, but then, well, not decided, we discovered which ones appear to be playing important roles in functions of the body, but then to determine what the actual dose range, optimum dose, whatever, which is probably, there's a kind of spectrum across human evolution or whatever, like magnesium, calcium, like there's all these vitamins they tell you to take if you're not getting them enough from food and whatnot. That's where I would like to try and do some research on this if I can ever pull back enough from having too much focus on like politics and economics and whatnot. I would think this would be an interesting kind of topic of study because we have our understanding of the 4 food groups that are healthy to eat, but I don't think anybody really has a strong explanation to the public for what the right mineral balance is we're supposed to be eating.
I learned something today because I took my mom. She volunteers at the church. I took her because they do mutual aid. They have a clothing house. So every Tuesday and Thursday, anyone can come in and get whatever clothes they want and get a meal, and it's all free. And which is beautiful, but I was like so concerned. I said, "What are y'all eating today?" She said, pork chops. I said, "Oh, I don't think my mom can have that." She said, "Why?" I said, "Because of the salt." She said, "Oh no, baby. That's when they used to cure pork chops. They don't do that anymore. Pork chops don't. It's the seasoning that you add to it. She'll be fine." I said, "Are you sure?" She said, "Yeah, my mom had high blood pressure. And the doctor told me this years ago." I said, "Okay, well, I'm going to look. I'm going to Google it." And it is true, but it also matters like the portion size. And if you keep the fat on the pork chop when you cook it, because it renders, and that's where some of the salt comes from. And you're only supposed to eat like the size of a card deck.
You're saying when you
deck of a card, no more than that. Bad Cookies is saying good night.
What's up? Good evening. I think he's just arriving. Hope you're all having a good night. Yes, we are.
Hope you're having a good night. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not having any terrible night tonight. I don't think we've had any horrible bad news or we're okay.
Well, you haven't. I have, but I'm pushing through. I right before we came on, so I haven't had a chance to tell you.
Well, that's right.
I'm just pushing through.
You're not wanting to be talking about it live, and that's
no,
fine.
I don't want to talk about it live. No.
All right, no worries.
I'm just pushing through.
That's like always trying to. So we're trying not
it's
to
like
work on days because like
Michael,
it's gonna keep happening, you know. It's like, but we got to try and be strong. But we can't just have that like stoic, get over it kind of attitude, you know. We gotta.
But Michael, don't it seem like every week I'm calling you with some bullshit?
Exactly. I can't believe. I don't want to call it luck because it's more than that. But it does seem to be a bad string of bad year. These
bad string of circumstances. Like 2026 ain't my jam. No. But whatever. So anyway, so when they brought her back home, because I always drop her off, and they live close, so she brings her back home, and I was like, "You were right." So I always donate meat to them because they're feeding, they're feeding the people, and I don't know, they could do it after collection, but it's a very small church, so I feel like they are actually walking in what they say they're supposed to walk in as Christians. You know what I mean? I'm not a Christian, but if I were, I would think they're actually trying to walk in the way that they're supposed to walk. So I donate food. I said, well, ma'am, next month I'm going to bring you some family packs of pork chops because you schooled me today. And, I appreciate it. So I felt good. That was good. That was the good part of my day. Yeah. It went downhill from there, though.
Yeah, well, I guess we could talk a little bit about like the religion kind of. I had been making a comment about some people's stuff on Substack. I've been trying to be on there more often, and that was basically one of the topics of the day for me was let me go take a look to see what we've like shared like this Bet Beat Media channel before. I'm not sure if you remember.
The what media channel?
Bet Beat Media, BETTBEAT. You might not quite remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's okay. I like them. They're like an anti-imperialist, like socialist kind of channel.
I have a bad memory, so I have to like see your face and interact with you a few times before I connect with you.
Right.
And I mean no harm. It's just that's just how my brain works.
It's all good. I don't like. I'm happy to periodically, episodically, we can kind of discuss some of their work as it's some of the stuff that I'm following online as far as what I feel like there are certain channels that are I could consider useful in helping me build my worldview and whatnot, and there are other channels that I don't feel so much of an alignment with. So Bet Beat Media is one of those channels, just like Fiorella Isabel and Papa Jardula were kind of like in the same sort of vein there as far as some of their takes on things with like China and Russia are sort of resonating with me and whatnot. So this Bet Beat Media is one of those channels. I'm kind of digressing a little bit. So the comment that they were making is about China still trading with Israel, saying why is China still trading with Israel massively? If China is the future and the West lost its moral grounding, then why is China massively trading with a genocidal state that fights for empire? I feel like this is exactly a point of pressure that we should be focusing on without becoming like anti-communist, fighting the imperialist talking points for them, whatever. But
Michael,
he wants. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
We're only supposed to be social today.
I know. That's what I'm trying to give context for whatever. But then someone made a reply to his about, in her opinion, Marxism was as brilliant as the social science as it is, utterly unequipped to deal with real questions of morality and ethics. It's literally just materialism is the answer, I guess. So she thinks with Iran, Yemen, Palestine, Israel, we've left the material plane entirely and entered into an ethical, spiritual plane and phase that only empirical evidence shows Islam is capable of handling. And so specifically the Muslims of Iran and Yemen. So I feel like that is getting back into the political instead of trying to keep things social. But I'm just saying, like, this is as far as like religion has some kind of monopoly over morality and ethics, and people are saying like Marxism is unequipped to deal with ethical questions. I feel like people are not understanding Marxist politics. There's a lack of dialectical kind of, I don't know.
Wait, why did you just stop?
Well, that's where I was not sure. I'm trying to land my plane, but I guess I just missed the runway or some shit. So I guess I could include I mean to follow up more. I didn't have time. We had to go live before I could kind of, because this is like an ongoing dialogue or whatever. But essentially, I'm trying to kind of point out that like Islam and whatnot is, why would you consider that to be more equipped to deal with like ethics and whatnot? Because like the conflict is based in material conditions and everything and whatnot. So when people try and act like this particular spirituality is more equipped to deal with this, it seems to be trying to make it not about materialism and make it about like idealism wins in the end again. Go figure, like this the Western kind of mentality that materialism, like how people, I find it funny, like the Islamic critique of capitalism is too materialistic. People, and that's like a bad thing that people have a materialistic behavior or outlook towards life, like they're, what is it, like commodity fetishism it would be the more Marxist way of saying that, but it seems to me more the Muslim way of critiquing capitalism is to say that it's like it lacks spirituality. It's just about mechanical materialism. You know what I mean? Consumerism. So there's some kind of like dissonance, I feel like, between like Islamic leftists and secular Marxists that's being kind of papered over. We're trying not to have these discussions because they are potentially divisive, and we're trying to have anti-imperialist solidarity. I mean, I'm gonna have to come at some of these. There's a lot of this criticism of Western Marxists, Western Marxism this, Western Marxism that, and I feel like
you are being political.
I know, I'm just saying, like, I feel like I gotta do some kind of response to that because it's kind of like bigotry or whatever. At the end of the day, it's so destructive towards Marxism in the West. We're being kind of lumped into this, like, you're just a Westerner, you're not capable of real Marxism in this kind of thing. And I feel like there's some projection going on, like the real purist, ideological purists, or maybe there's a little bit more of that going on in the Eastern Marxism, with we are the ones, the actually existing socialist states, we're the ones who really know how to do it, whatever, the only ones who know what we're talking about, and the rest of you guys in the West are just kind of wrong about everything. And I don't think we're critically deconstructing that much to be able to recognize there's some kind of propagandistic like benefit to throwing Western Marxists under the bus in order to make their systems look amazing and unchallengeable. So I don't know. Are they actually saying that though? Is that how I'm reading things? It's a good question. This is where it's hard to try and like get something going with politics in the West when like if I just make everything about politics or whatever, then you're being like one dimensional. And people are like, oh, what about the rest of us?
You kind of are.
No. Then you try and be more sociable, and then it's like you get criticized by people for not whatever. You're just not trying to actually accomplish anything political. You're just trying to get along and be one of the cool kids or whatever. Like I don't know. What I throw my hands up at the end of the day.
You're so cute, Michael. I'm just saying. They said they wanted more social dialogue today.
I know. That's where that's my antisocial personality makes that maybe tricky as far as giving the credibility to the diagnostic system. There's only so much value to my anecdotal point of view as far as these diagnostic labels as far as so-called disorders. You call them so-called disorders, then you're speaking from like a kind of anti-scientific sounding perspective, but then you have to do this identity thing about, oh, so that I've been given this antisocial personality label, so I guess that's my lived experience and whatnot. Even though I find it kind of funny to be like the political consequence of being labeled antisocial with a mental health problem of antisocial personality while you try to be.
You think you're antisocial though?
I'm saying it completely hamstrings my ability to be a socialist. It's like this unspoken irony, you know.
Not a socialist, like a social person. What are you saying?
I'm not a very social person in that, right. Like, I'm not the kind of.
Because you said like socialist, which is different.
As opposed to extrovert. So then it's like the contradiction, I guess, worth discussing about my personal problems, or whatever, would be like, is there any kind of relation between my attempts to be socialist in politics, as far as the consequence being ironically, my personality becoming more antisocial?
Let me ask you this.
The rejection of the bourgeois society that I find repulsive.
Let me ask you this. Say you go to a party, not a party where the music is loud and everybody's like dancing, but a party where the music is like in the background and everybody's just like talking and hanging out. Do you bring everything back to politics, or are you trying to talk to that person and get to know them on a personal level?
Already talking about like a kind of environment that I haven't really been placing myself in for a while, because it makes me just kind of uncomfortable to be in a crowd in a club kind of place like that, you know.
No, not a club. I'm talking about a house party. Where everybody's just like hanging out, and the music is kind of low, and people are like in their own silos, like their own little groups they form, just getting to know each other, and they move around, you know, like talking to different people, what have you. Do you find that you spend more time to talk to them and get to know them as a person, or more time talking to them about politics?
This is where I'm saying, like, I haven't really been in that kind of like, not since like my college days where was I doing like the house party stuff, and I've kind of withdrawn from that sort of social engagement. And before, to answer your question a little more directly, it would be a bit more trying to like get to know people, because before I was less politicized. I'd known less about things. I was still like socialist, like left leaning, just kind of like naturally, as far as whatever. I don't know if we all have like a natural tendency towards left or right or whatever. To have a Marxist explanation for that, like there isn't, none of your tendency is really all that natural. It all comes from your material upbringing and whatnot, like the environment that you were that you never chose. You know, that
Okay.
shaped you.
Let me ask you a different way. You ever been around someone who like just became just came into their religion, their religious beliefs, like really got into it, and that's all they would talk about? Like they have no, because they're so excited about their religious beliefs that they don't have the capacity to step outside of that topic. Have you ever met someone like that?
Well, I think I don't really hang around like when people get really religious or whatever. Like I kind of sense where you're going, or when people get to be all fanatical about that religious awakening that they've had, I tend to distance myself from a person like that because I don't want to have anything to do with the religious kind of.
So maybe that was a bad.
But
maybe that was a bad example.
That might not. That's kind of a not
but
a bad.
You understand
example.
what I'm saying, right?
Right? It's not exactly a bad example, but if you kind of make it more a secular version, would be like the climate change. That's part of what made me feel like there was such a part of the political awakening going on. Is this climate change stuff is not a conspiracy theory, and that means that there's an imperative, like a conclusion that is drawn as far as there's an active, like a call to action implicit in learning this stuff. And then people want to try and make you out like the Marxist stuff to be just like another kind of religious. And this is like part of, like, to get back to that Substack thing or whatever, because we were talking, it gets down to what we call immanent, materialist immanence, and like immanent eschatology. Okay. So if we adhere to a Marxist philosophy, morality must be immanent. It must emerge from observable material conditions, historical contradictions, and human biological social needs. It must be falsifiable, adaptable, and subject to change as material conditions change. So that's the kind of, I feel like I got to do more research on this immanence idea, but it's this idea that, like, the Marxist stuff is that we're in a particular historical stage of development, and the ending of capitalism and the beginning of communism is a kind of imminent thing. It's impending, not impending doom, but it's an impending transformation of the relationship to the means of production.
So
that's where it gets sounding a little bit like it's religious worldview, because we're talking the religious worldview is like this immanentist eschatology. If you think about like the Christians with their second coming of Christ, or the Islam with the return of the Mahdi, and the Zionists have their own kind of immanentist, whatever, apocalyptic sort of. This is a recurring theme. So I think that there's a danger to the immanentist eschatology, and there might be some material, like your baby with the bathwater thing. We can't just be like all immanent stuff is bad. That's impractical. That doesn't make any sense.
So this is why I think the podcast is a very good outlet for you, because you get really excited about these topics, right?
Yeah.
To the point where even when we're like, we just want to talk about something social, that's not comfortable for you.
Well, it's just like if you do too much of the trying to learn how to be useful, have like a useful political kind of punditry or whatever, then that kind of becomes like the only way that you can think. It's like I've been putting a lot of effort into learning how to think dialectically, how to be a dialectical materialist, how to actually do historical materialism, and then that's a good thing that you can like. I think it's good if I've managed to accomplish that to some degree, to a large degree. That would be the bigger the better. But in another way, that would be kind of limiting my ability to see the world through other lenses. This gets into postmodernism, where people are trying to have like all lenses are equal, and I don't agree with that.
You didn't answer what I said though.
I won't be saying the answer. Sorry.
I was trying to bring it back to something social. I said this is why the podcast is a really good space for you, because you feel really comfortable, because you're expressing the things that matter most to you. And when we said we were going to make the show social, it's not a comfortable place for you.
Right. I guess that's a good, yeah. Good.
So wait, that would be a good show, Old Man Barker. Read that.
We should make a crash out show. Yeah, I don't.
He would be down for that shit.
Except that to make a crash out show is like to take something spontaneous and try and artificially reproduce it, and it's not spontaneous anymore. So
no, it's not going to be artificial. Michael, it's you.
We should do a.
It's not going to be artificial.
Like a rage bait kind of show, like.
No, not a rage bait show.
Be mad about, and so let's take these people and let's tear them a new one, whatever. Just because.
No. It's like give you a topic and let you go on, and I'd probably I'd be the person that would facilitate the crash out, because I just troll you a little, just a tiny little bit, and you gonna go off on me. I ain't gonna lie. It's gonna be a crash out, but that's not good for him. That it's funny, but that's not good for you.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of psychologist, psychiatrist would be the right person to ask. Is that healthy? Because that's the thing about psychiatry. It's not exactly like working class psychiatry. Is kind of on our side and against us, depending on the context. They can be kind of class traitors with their advice. And so I would say that doesn't sound psychologically healthy.
It doesn't. That's why I said it's just a joke.
Right? But then is it also psychologically healthy to try and deny people their expression of their frustration and whatnot, to try and have that positivist illusion, the toxic positivity about fake it till you make it.
It has to be organic, right? it can't be that I'm poking you to force you to crash out. It has to be organic. Yeah. We don't need a crash out show. We just need to continue the show, because you're gonna see crash outs every now and again.
I think maybe.
I feel like I've crashed out a few times.
I think polemical is a better word. We should maybe have a polemical show, which is about like polemics is a big Marxist thing. It's an important part of we're not gonna try and pussyfoot around how to be super nice about everybody's opinions and try not to step on anybody's toes or whatever. No, people have this kind of deceptive quality. They don't really like to be called out on their bullshit. So we kind of have to have a little bit more of a forceful type of argumentative style where we call people out on the mat. We make them fucking defend their shit. And that's a necessary, there's a time and place for that stuff. We just, I'm trying to say, we don't want to make the rhetoricification of politics.
So I'm keeping this up for a second, because I want to show you this this image. I'm trying to pull it up. Let me see if I'm able to pull it up. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to share. Oh, the computer's doing something funky. There we go. Let me try to make it big.
Because as far as these
wait, before you move on, I want to emphasize this, because it's true. He says it's helpful to get it out sometimes. So I want to show this image. Look at the person that's keeping it in.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
The one that keeps it in, and look at their view. They are so grim. And the one that just cussed them the fuck out and got it out, they happy. I'm not saying you gotta cuss them out. I'm saying you gotta get it out. Because then you'll feel more comfortable. You know what I mean?
This can be like a bit of a binary fallacy type meme, where there's like black and white perspective, whatever. But it's like this is like a truism. Like it's true when it's true. You know, like a bit of a tautology. We've kind of, some of us, if you know, like if you've experienced this kind of thing about keeping it in, that's like there is a kernel of
you die a little bit inside.
I also feel a bit of dying inside when I cuss people out, especially like you like sometimes you cuss people out in exactly the right way when they deserve it, whatever, and it's like you feel no regret, whatever. But sometimes you go off on the wrong person on accident a little bit, and you're like, oh shit. So there's like
I only feel that way. Fire. I only feel that way if it's someone I care about. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I could have handled it a different way. I need to apologize and rectify the situation. But if it's somebody I don't know, oh, you're getting all the smoke.
Because that's part of like this liberal kind of psychology as far as words are violence. You can't talk to somebody like that. You're going to traumatize them.
But you know what else I learned? Instead of like going off on someone, this is very effective. When they come to you and they're like all heated and they're saying everything they want to say, and just stare at them and blink. Don't say a word, just look at them. And they are so pissed that you are not giving them energy, that you're just sitting there staring at them. I never knew how effective that was. I was like, damn, that's good. I'm using that. I'm using that way more than cussing people out. Because that makes them feel stupid.
Yep, there's just a certain kind of like, you got to try and, it's extremely effective to do the stare down, but then there's like maybe a certain moment where you just do it a little bit too long and it's not as effective. There's a bit of a fine art to doing a stare down, I think. Yeah.
It's a fine art, yeah.
Because you do too much of a blank stare, you look like not much going on behind those eyes.
No, it's no. Let me show you. You gotta do this. Put your hand under, like look dead on the eye, stare at them, and then just and start blinking like.
Do the raised eyebrows.
And kind of raise eyebrows and kind of do your head like, okay, are you done? Are you done? You know, like don't say a word, but show them with your facial expression. Now that's the shit right there.
Well, I feel like depending on the context,
right?
There's different kinds of stares. It's amazing how versatile a stare could be, right? Because there's instead of cussing at somebody, it could be just as effective to like if you're trying to intimidate somebody, you're not trying to do the raised eyebrows, right? You're trying to do like the first, like the like don't you fucking you know, like you do flat mouth, flat eyebrows, flat eyes, whatever your fucking pupils
become. Like show me. No, don't tell me. Show me. Do it right now.
I can't because now I'm smiling and shit. Whatever. I'm not.
So flat eyebrows. Wait, don't put the hand just like
this. You gotta do that. Don't that like I'm gonna fucking hurt you. Whatever. If you fucking don't make me.
That's what that looks like. That looks like. Keep talking. That looks very intimidating. Like
you give them 1,000.
Like I'm about to hit you in your face. Keep talking. That's what that looks like when you do that.
Yeah.
And don't do anything. That's that crazy look.
Right.
But this one is like, I'm hearing everything you say, and I really don't care.
There's like a daring people that keep talking kind of look. That's like there's a certain kind of body language that just conveys that message, or whatever. But I'm not really. This is like probably because like whatever, raised in the West in Canada and whatnot, whatever. I've not like had like as much street violence, or whatever. I gotta fucking like
street violence.
like gotta mind my square against these people, or whatever. Gotta show them my fucking backbone, or whatever. So
but you know what you should do? Practice it in the mirror.
Exactly. I'm gonna get those people today.
No, practice it so you know. So, because you're not looking in the mirror, you're looking at them, but you know what it is on your face because you've done it before. If it for me it comes natural, but for you it might not be as natural. So practice in the mirror so you know if you're either doing this. Wait, that's a raised eyebrow. I gotta do this. Or if you're doing this. Or if you just.
I also find that you know,
I always like to do this with it. Like anything else, You know
what I like to do is when people piss me off on shit, whatever, and the words aren't gonna really be. Well, I'll just do the shake the head. You know.
And you put your head down. You shake the head and put it down. So let me see. What would that feel like to me?
Like this is just so like
I get that. That's a good
bullshit.
one.
It doesn't even fucking deserve commentary, you know? Like
yeah, you know what that feels like to me? Like, are you not embarrassed? That's what that feels like to me.
I don't even need to say anything. You're doing enough without my
input. If you just do this, like just shake your head and then put it down. Keep shaking. That feels like I'm telling them you should feel embarrassed because I'm embarrassed for you.
Oh, the fucked up smile too. I used to do that one or whatever. People like trying to bother you.
What's the fucked up smile?
Someone just trying to bother you or whatever, trying to get on your nerves or whatever. You just like flash them like a weird like.
Really?
You just get weird.
You look crazy.
I mean, you fucking happy? Oh, let's be fucking happy, motherfucker. Well, let's fucking smile about it, eh? Like a fucking smile with no smile behind it, whatever. Like fucking psycho clown smile. I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
That looks like the Joker. Like, is that what you're talking about? That looks like the Joker. That looks crazy.
Nope, that.
I would be like, you know what? I'm good.
Mental health, whatever diagnosis there, by the way. Maybe that's something you guys don't relate to.
I should try that one. Yeah, that's that Joker. That's that Joker thing you got going on right there.
That comes from, right? Like,
I like that one. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of like that one. I'm gonna try that one.
You just gotta be careful when you're acting crazy, because then some people take you seriously, and then they're like, danger to themselves or others. Woo, woo, woo. Psych ward for you.
But they let the people that wait, hold on, somebody's in my phone doorbell. They let the people that approach you with roid rage, they act like that's okay. What's going on with my doorbell? Okay. Never mind. Any other ones? Let me think. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I need to come up with some more.
That's something I think about on the daily or whatever, like to share my whatever.
Instead of arguing with somebody, like I don't want to argue with you, or I'll just do this, and I'll walk away, and I'll walk away. That's interesting, and I'll just walk away. Not interested. That's interesting, but I'm not interested in it. Out of here. So yeah, that's a good one too. I've done that one on a few occasions.
Well, it's always fun trying to just figure out how rude should you be, whatever. How polite do you have to be when you're trying to disengage with somebody on a topic, you know?
Nobody came up today.
How rude.
But I'm gonna see. It's like I have some friends that I've been talking to that would probably co-host with me. So we're gonna see. So you're not gonna be here next week, right? You're this is your sign off day?
Well, because I'll have to like make arrangements with the ex and the kids about like, yeah, I confirmed with Daddy that I'm not gonna be there for Tuesday, so that yes, the kids can come over. Because I mean, otherwise we could try and make Tuesday a more family friendly kind of thing, and like the kids could be here, but then that's influencing. Like they already, I don't know how much we should encourage our kids to be social media influencers. They both do kind of like my son's got an aspiration to be a YouTuber, like gamer YouTuber, and then my daughter's got a TikTok channel already. She's making content for already. So there's a certain kind of like rubbing off of what our activities are here, but like that's where I try to represent. I don't think we should be ashamed about the kind of work we're doing here, as far as like, look, kids, we're doing good podcast work as opposed to this fucking slop that most of the YouTube shit is, and TikTok. Let's not even get started. So
we'll try to make it a balance. But well, I'm just asking for the viewers. Will you be here next Tuesday or no?
I'm gonna say no. Yeah, I'm gonna try.
So no. Okay.
I'm gonna start this next week, and then see how you do, and then if you need, we'll change things up. We'll see, because like I'm trying to do the good example for the courts, but this is not going to be resolved at all until next year, or hopefully be done by next year. I see potentially this going to be like a 6-year kind of endeavor, as far as
shoot, that'll be 18 by then.
That's what I'm saying. Actually, an important kind of milestone to pay attention to is I want to hold them accountable if they decided to waste so much time with the court proceedings that the kids spent more of their childhood with an uncertainty about their custody than the custody was in effect for. Like if they take more than 6 years, then it will only apply for whatever the last 6 years of my son's life. So if it takes 7 years or whatever, and the longer it gets, the worse it gets, where they've decided to take so long or whatever that they've effectively only rendered judgment on like whatever 30% of the time where custody was even an issue. You know what I mean? Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's also my own. Like, if I don't have the lawyer, then maybe things have taken a little bit longer. I could have maybe made things a little more expedient had I known the legalese. Okay, but this is actually, I feel, like I get maybe purist about this kind of shit, whatever, but or like contrarian, but like we really got to correct some of this egregious in like inequality or whatever, like the ableism, the systemic ableism in the courts or whatever. Like nobody understands how the court process works, to the point where only the lawyers understand how like the bureaucracy of it functions. And so like that's actually part of what makes it even more inefficient, is we all just trust the lawyers and judges to have some kind of professionalism, when if you try to do the job of the lawyer, like I've been doing for the past like 3 years, you realize it's not that fucking hard or whatever. And they actually do a lot of like dragging their heels and wasting time, and proceduralism, where we're worried more about are we following the rules correctly than what's the actual spirit of the law that we're supposed to be upholding. So,
at what age do they allow the child to decide or have a say-so in it?
And that's one of the things
in your town.
Well, I don't know exactly what age they have, but we have this Office of the Children's Lawyer, which they had decided it was left up to us to decide whether or not we wanted to consent to bringing them in. When I feel like there should be an automatic procedure that gets activated in a certain kinds of conditions are met. The Office of the Children's Lawyer should be consulted whether the parents want them to be or not, because the children.
And I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask what y'all decided, because that's probably not appropriate on the show. But
they introduced. They finally brought.
I want to know after the show. You know what I mean?
That's part of what the delay is, right? We went like 3 years of doing this court process, and then it was asked about should we invite the Office of the Children's Lawyer in. And now we have to bring her up to speed, which is what the entire summer has been taken up on the Office of the Children's Lawyer getting like Children's Aid Society information requests or whatever, that kind of stuff, or from info from our doctors and whatnot, whatever. And we're just waiting for this person to be filled in on the story that everyone else is basically forgetting because it's taken like so long that we don't even remember the beginning of the story now. So, welcome to Canadian Court.
I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't want
it's colonial courts. This is where like people act like there's no need for white people to be concerned about settler colonial bullshit, whatever. Like that's why these courts are so fucking stupid. They don't give a shit about justice, whatever, because they're upholding this colonial legacy that they're not allowed to let go of, because that's what they're fucking the foundation of the legitimacy of their legal fucking authority is built on, this fucking like white supremacist insanity, imperialism.
That's so interesting you said that. Like in Louisiana, we're still held under the French court system. We're the only state in the country that still has to uphold the French court system. Like we have parishes.
Interesting as far as the English is the common law and the French are the civil law as far as the technical difference there.
Yeah, like you can get a real estate license and transfer it from various states. You can't get a real estate license in any other state in this country and transfer it to Louisiana. You have to start over. You have to take our, you can get a law degree anywhere else, but if you come over here, you have to pass the bar over here. Like it's so different.
And to me, like that's a little bit interesting to try and explain. I feel like there's got to be some kind of like historical compromise that the losing, like the French, when they lost
because
the English before America
when they purchased in the Louisiana Purchase, it was like some clause or something. But the Louisiana Purchase, they purchased like a ton of land. It wasn't just Louisiana. It was like it was like all the way up to the way up. But for some reason, Louisiana is still under their I need to look that up.
See,
I need to figure out. I need to look that up because I used to know this, but it's so much information. Sometimes you lose stuff.
This is one example of many where there's all kinds of like legal foundations as far as like agreements that are treated as if they were legally founded in the first place. But that the Louisiana Purchase, from what I remember, like they kind of violated a whole bunch of indigenous rights by claiming land that was not their right to sell in the first place. And now that's enshrined in, we can't go back and fix that because whatever statute of limitations or something that we invented after the fact. And so that's what the whole thing was, decolonial politics, right? It's like,
sorry, I was trying to ask Black Life, does she know? Black Life, do you know? Do you know why Louisiana is under a completely different set of laws than the rest of the country? Do you remember that story? Okay, she don't remember. Because, I mean, we just here, so we don't, it just happened. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just trying to see if she knew.
But it's like similar thing in Canada. There was like in the western provinces like Alberta and Saskatchewan and stuff, there was a whole bunch of land that was kind of taken away from these indigenous, when they put them on the reservations and whatnot, then they sold all this farmland for like $1 or whatever. They gave it away for free to a bunch of settlers, whoever, to have them move in to farm the land. And so they got that, as far as like reparations to be owed and whatnot, like there's like the private property that a lot of like white farmers generations have been passed down for generations or whatever, they acquired in legally dubious circumstances, and now they act like whatever, America, or like make Canada great again or whatever. Like it's not, our great country is not what it used to be, and it's like they're forgetting or ignoring how their own wealth is based on theft, land theft, and this kind of stuff. The uncomfortable truth.
May I show you something real quick before we're gonna be leaving soon, right? Because
yeah, gotta be
nobody's joining, and you're gonna take the dog for a walk. But I want to show you something really quickly that we haven't discussed here, but it's very interesting from what we've been talking about. Okay.
OMB says Alberta was part of the Northwest Territories. I don't know as much about that Canadian history because I didn't grow up out there, and it's a while since high school or whatever. I should read up on some of that stuff. It's just horrific how how these countries were formed. You know, people have too much of a denialism about the genocidal origins of these nation states. People like to be patriotic about, not to make it so political, goddammit. I feel like the indigenous are like, yeah, you're trying to make things about social issues instead of politics or whatever. They're like our genocide or whatever was not cultural, you know, like that's a Canadian thing. It's just a cultural genocide it happened. It wasn't real genocide. Like maybe we don't even need to define it as political or whatever. Like the denial of their truth of what happened to them is like as political as it is. It's also just morally abhorrent, you know. Like
so, I learned this on another channel, okay? That I was like a guest on. It is. I'm gonna read what it is first, okay? So I gotta go to it. So it's a famous 1754 political cartoon by Benjamin Franklin. It shows a snake cut into 8 pieces. Each piece stands for an American colony, the 13 colonies. He printed out in the Pennsylvania Gazette to ask the colonies to unite. Now, this is how they say, to ask the colonies to unite. But what does that say down there?
Join or die.
Is that asking you to unite? Or is that telling you unite or get slaughtered? So these are the 13 colonies. Oh, go ahead. You said that's interesting. Go ahead.
I was just watching Alexander Mackay. He's a Scottish communist, like from the UK, and he was just talking in his live stream today about they should dismantle. Communists should advocate for the dismantling of the United Kingdom. They should want independence of Scotland and Ireland and Wales, and you can still have strong like economic and political ties and social ties without being forced into this union that was not a genuine union. People don't maybe know really the history of how the UK was formed, but it was similar to this American union by force, join or die, you know, like we require you to be a part of our union so that we can extrapolate, export colonialism, you know, so we can export capital.
But look at the way
the Scottish, the Wales, and the Irish to their will, and they call that a union. It's the same thing with the Americans.
Look at the way they whitewash history, though. It says to ask the colonies to unite. Are you kidding me? So what are 13 colonies? You can see it on here: South Carolina, North Carolina. That's an A, right? So no P. So I don't know what this is.
Looks like a triangle.
So, yeah, I'm not sure. South Carolina, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. That would be Massachusetts, I think. New Jersey, New York, New England. So that is something. What is that A?
That's like only 8 of them.
This is 7, but New England comprised of before it got split up. So this is 7 of them. That A is something. I can't think of it. It's not an A though. Is that what is that? What do y'all think that is in the chat? North Carolina, South Carolina. Oh, you think that's Virginia? I think that's Virginia. It just has a thing over the top because Virginia's in that 13 colony area. I think that
where I
must
never
be
really
Virginia.
learned. I never learned American history in
Okay, but I think that's Virginia.
They teach us like Canadian history, I guess, but
I'm pretty sure that's
we
Virginia.
don't really cover the origins of the. Like, I don't remember. Like, wouldn't be able to tell you what the original 13 colonies were off the top of my head. I would
Yeah, I'm
think,
pretty
like,
sure it's
Alabama
Virginia.
comes to mind.
No, Alabama. No,
not one of the
no.
original, right? That's
No,
later.
no. That came later.
Yeah.
The 13 colonies were all on the eastern side of. It didn't even stretch
all
down
the
to Florida.
Democratic nowadays, you know.
It was all on the eastern side of the United States of America, and it didn't go past South Carolina. That's why they say everything south of the Mason-Dixon line is the South, I think. Wait, I don't know. Let me see. We can look it up. Damn it.
Sean says, anyone think Northern Ireland kind of had the right idea? I'm not sure what you mean by the right idea. You could elaborate. Because I thought that that Northern Ireland was the ones that's like loyal to the British. They're the counter-revolutionary ones. But I might have that mixed up.
Northern Ireland, yes, that's Southern Ireland. Northern Ireland, they're the ones that are like, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Northern Ireland is very offended by being part. So when we could look that up real quick too, because that's very interesting that you brought that up. Because there's the UK, there's there's Great Britain, and then there's the Isles. So before we do that, can I show you?
Yeah, I think
colonies?
Yeah, go ahead. I think.
And then we could do that.
I think I'm the one who's right about Northern Ireland, but we'll get into that next.
Okay.
And the first thing that calls up, I just typed up.
I don't think you are, but okay.
I'm just saying, is Northern Ireland loyal?
Not that it's.
We don't want to make that mistake. We gotta correct that. If one of us is confused, we gotta make sure we bring the other one up to speed on.
We gotta make sure we know
who's on the right side of history in Ireland. Right? The trouble. We're on
the right side of history of Ireland.
We're an important.
Okay, here we go.
In the British Isles, definitely. Yeah. So.
Okay, here's the 13. Okay, that's considered. Oops, I went too far. So it was Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. They got Georgia on here. Maryland. So, okay, New Jersey. So a lot of this, see how they're showing these? Some of these were combined.
Maybe it was a D.
Because all of this is considered New England at the time. They didn't say Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut. They didn't say all that. They said New Jersey. Delaware wasn't even on the. This must be a new. I apologize. I don't know who made this one, but you get the idea. It was all along the East Coast of. And you see Louisiana spelled like that. Look how big it is. But
so
anyway,
when they talk about
so you go ahead with yours.
Are they talking about just the British colonies? Because some of the
the British colonies, yeah.
If those are the only ones.
That's how it began. That's how it began.
But how many colonies were there in total? It's like this. This is like a British centric.
No, that's the beginning of them until they like started moving
So there were 13 British colonies before there was a single French or Spanish colony. I thought they all colonized the area at the same time.
Oh,
roughly.
No. Well, okay, you're right. So it was broken up. Okay. So you see that green part, Louisiana, that was a huge area. That was controlled by the French. And after the French Revolution and the French lost so bad, they sold in the Louisiana Purchase, they sold it to them at pennies on the dollar.
It's just funny.
And that's how they got all that area. And then after that came invading into Mexico's territory.
I'm just saying,
so it's a process.
Where do you draw the line as far as how do you define what is and is not a colony? Because Louisiana, I would say, is a French colony, but to say that that whole massive thing is all one big colony seems like maybe not so historic.
No, I'm saying these are British colonies.
I know. How do you define what constitutes a colony? And I feel like the goalposts kind of shift over time, you know. So because it says territorio in Indio, but like, where's the Spanish colony? You know, like
it's right here. The Spanish, because it's only showing you a piece. Okay. So here's the French colony, and that's cut in half. You can't even see all of it in the lime green. And then beyond that is where all the Mexico was.
Yeah,
gigantic. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying the British conquered the entire United States of America. Well, not the
Mexico,
British.
Mexico wasn't that the Spanish colony, right? As far as what we think of as the big whatever, like how a lot of Mexican territory belongs to the Americans. I think from the indigenous perspective, that's kind of like an intercolonial warfare sort of. Oh no, the colonizers are fighting each other, but they all stole the land from the indigenous. Like is Mexico originally an indigenous nation? No, I think it's Spain's civilizing of the land or whatever, and they call it Mexico or whatever after they come in and occupy it or whatever, right? Which is that's where I kind of feel like Bolivarianism is a little bit problematic, and they don't like to, like, it's the colonial, the decolonial politics that maybe has a little bit of a critique of Bolivarianism. Like, we're kind of used to saying like it's the northern white people that are always the problem. The Spanish that are sometimes whatever considered white by the northerners and sometimes not are less colonialist and whatnot. They were just as vicious and barbaric, I would say. So, if not more so, you might even say.
Yeah.
Well, with the way that they claim the entire southern hemisphere because the Catholic Church said doctrine of discovery, which is like, it's a little bit of a waste of time to try and say who was worse with all of this imperialism, you know, colonialism. Like Spain right now is getting Spain is getting a little bit too much treated like they're a revolutionary anti-imperialist force. When if you look at the devil in the details,
no, they're not.
Very problematic.
What's going on with this? Go ahead, keep going. I was just pulling this up so we could talk about it.
Right. That's okay. I was just saying, like Spain, like Laith Marouf the one day said a great characterization of it. He said Spain is like Erdogan of the European Union. I think that's the perfect way to describe them. If you know Erdogan, the Turkish president, the way that he tries to talk like he's progressive about Palestine and he wants to actually push back against the Israelis, but he's completely vassalized to the Americans. He's a complete puppet and fascist, you know, pretending to be whatever he needs to when it suits him. So,
I was listening to you. Why you stop?
I don't know. I thought what we were gonna. I'm not sure what I have more to say on that. Like, there's like things with like Peru and Colombia and stuff that are developing right now, Bolivia and Ecuador and whatnot. We should be trying to maybe cover some of that. We don't tend to get all the way down to South America as often with our coverage, but some of this stuff that's happening with Bolivarianism is kind of going through a hard, challenging time right now, and it's not really much of a thing that's being analyzed. There's a lot of like solidarity with Cuba and Venezuela, but there's not much of a critique of like, so what happened? I thought that before Maduro was captured and everything, everyone was acting like these guys are real revolutionary, whatever, like Bolivarian revolution all the way, and then kind of like it was a bit of a dud as far as when push came to shove, they kind of went out with a whimper. Like, or is there some kind of like resurgence of Bolivarianism around the corner, and we're gonna see them kick the Americans out like right fucking 2027? Here we go. I don't know.
So,
it's hard to have solidarity with the.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at what you're saying. That's all.
All this identity politics that gets everyone turned around. So, like, yeah.
So do you want to go through this map? So basically, Great Britain is just the main geographic of the island, right? It includes England, Scotland.
Great Britain excludes Scotland and Ireland. The United Kingdom includes Northern Ireland. Ireland excludes Great Britain, and the British Isles includes all of them.
So Northern Ireland, they experience like
the UK.
Deep systemic inequality from the Catholic Nationalist Church. They were like, that's why I don't remember the name of that movie, but they were like, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. And it was the Northern Irish people that were saying that because they felt a camaraderie with black people in America because they experienced housing discrimination, jobs, voting discrimination, all that stuff. Same stuff we experienced, but they didn't experience chattel slavery though. But I'm saying like when we were going through the Jim Crow era, they were also going through the same things. Around the same time. Northern Ireland.
So do you see Kieran Pine's comment here?
No, can you read it? I can't read it.
Yeah, he says historically Northern Ireland has been an Orange Order outhouse. I'm not sure exactly.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, like the Dutch, whatever, like Willem the Orange or whatever, dude.
I'm gonna look it up.
Controlled by Protestant supremacists loyal to the British crown. Power appears to be shifting recently, now somewhat stifled. So it's like the Protestant versus the Catholic blood feud. Almost, is it a fair kind of playful way to describe it as like the Sunni Shia divide, like the English version of the Sunni Shia divide, like the Protestant Catholic schism?
Like they have a direct connection to our civil rights movement in America. Not a direct connect, but you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, I think they called it the Troubles.
Yeah,
or
the Troubles.
Something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Like my bias as far as being raised in like the Protestant, like I went to a Lutheran church when I was being raised, and then we switched to an Anglican church, but we were basically raised in the Protestant side of the schism, and so I kind of maybe have this bias that the Catholics are the more reactionary, the less progressive version of a Christian. When now that I've like stopped seeing my like I have no affiliation with Christianity or whatever, I'd reject that stuff. I start to see how Protestantism had all of its own kind of reactionary and like conservative insanity. Like Protestantism is maybe more responsible than Catholicism for the evolution of capitalism, the spread of capitalism and whatnot. That's an interesting thing to recognize. But the Catholic Church was like the bastion of the feudalist order that was so repressive and backward that it was making capitalism for the bourgeoisie appear to be a progressive force in the world. So it's like, pick your poison. I don't.
I looked up what I put the comment back up. So I looked up what that means, and it says the phrase likely pairs the Orange Order, a conservative Protestant and loyalist fraternal organization originating in Ireland, with an outhouse and outdoor toilet, referring literally to outdoor facilities attached to rural orange halls or historical properties. That didn't make any sense. That didn't really clear it up for me. But
I'm not sure if that's like the best. That's like AI doing historical revisionism or some shit with that.
It says, well, let me share it so I'm not the only one that's looking at this, because
maybe Kieran can fill us in on.
Yeah, maybe Karen could jump in. Okay, the Orange Order, a Protestant British unionist organization founded in 1795 in Ireland, known for its annual marching season and local community buildings called Orange Halls. Okay, outhouse context, literal buildings. Older rural orange halls historically relied on detached outhouses or primitive external facilities before modern plumbing. See, this is making more sense now. Outbuildings and outhouses associated with isolated rural community halls have occasionally been targets or sites of sectarian friction or arson attacks during periods of civil unrest. That makes more sense. I'm glad I broke it down, because that initial thing was like, what?
That's funny. It's like the petty thing that people would do to show their civil unrest is they would go like burn down the outhouse attached to your building so that you would have the inconvenience of not having anywhere to shit. That's politics for you, right?
And very intimidating. Very intimidating. Anyway, should we get out of here?
You ready to get out of here? I think we're ready to get to this one.
Well, let me say, Bella.
Bella, where are you?
Bella.
Here you are.
She jumped down just to get back up.
She does that a lot.
Hey, Bella. So she already knows.
Get the proud.
I'm gonna see if I have anything to end on, a video or something. That would be interesting. Do you have one? I don't know what this is.
Stop it, Bella. It's okay.
I don't even know what this is, but I saved it. I don't know why I did. Oh, it's about Irish. This is so funny. This is hilarious. I saved this to play today, and I had no idea we were going to be talking about this. And like, I just pulled it up, and I was like, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this is. And I just pulled it forward, and I saw in the caption it said Irish. So I still don't know what it is, but it might be part of that movie I was telling you about. Isn't that funny how things sync?
That's some of that. People would say synchronicity. If you're a meaningful coincidence.
That's crazy. And it really is a coincidence.
Yeah, it was.
Because I really was like, what the hell is this? Okay, so I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to let you say your part. It's only 33 seconds long, so I'm going to let you say your part. And then I'm going to play it.
Sure. Sure.
Because
Yeah.
you won't be back until Thursday, so I want to give
And I
you
guess,
your time, and then
yeah.
I'll play that, and then I'll come back. Okay?
Right. Well, I guess I'll say,
Wait,
it was,
give me a second. Wait, hold on.
oh, sorry.
I wasn't ready.
Oh, shit. She's getting all the way, giving me the whole screen. Oh, shit. Okay. I was just going to say, I guess this might be my last Tuesday for a while, or for who knows, whatever, but it was fun doing these Tuesday discussion shows. I hope to see them continue to have a long life. Um, I'm gonna hope be happy to watch maybe Tuesday and have some commentary, maybe join the chat or something. But like it's not really going anywhere. No, we're still gonna be going strong for as long as possible. But I wanted to make sure that Thursdays, because I'm starting to feel like I don't have enough time to do good quality research. So let's try and keep Thursday in that serious kind of like analytical, productive kind of constructive criticism sort of stuff. And Tuesdays, there's other things to work on besides getting to the truth of the matter all day long. There's important social capital that we need to be building and whatnot. So hopefully we can have some networking and everything, and find some new friends and comrades, more perspectives to share. Let's get to work. You know what I mean? So, all right. Thanks, you guys. Have a good night. I'll see you Thursday. Um, and thank you all for being here as always. Couldn't do it without you.
That's what you got to measure up to, lads.
Do you not think,
What?
well, like, you're a little white for that kind of thing?
Do you not get it, lads? The Irish are the blacks of Europe, and Dubliners are the blacks of Ireland, and the Northside Dubliners are the blacks of Dublin. So say it once, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud.
Okay, y'all, back. I'm back. I'm back. Oh, I'm back. I don't know why it took so long for me to get here. I'm back. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Shout out to Northern Ireland. We went through the same struggle we went through only after chattel slavery, and not in the same context, but they was around here. They got it. They understood. So anyway, we're gonna miss Michael Tuesdays. I'm gonna be looking for co-hosts with the mofos. So if anybody wants to join me as co-host, let me know. And if not, that's fine. I got a few people in mind. We'll see what to do. Hopefully we can keep Tuesday going. If not, Thursday is always on the table. That's our day. We were just trying stuff out on Tuesdays, but people have lives and we got shit to do, right? So, as always, y'all be safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family, your friends, your community. And I will see you on Thursday. I love you. Do, 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 do. That was not the outro looking for. Look at that. I need a producer.